Hello and welcome to The Game Football Podcast from The Times. Manchester City top, Sunderland 7th and Nottingham Forest avoiding relegation. What does the Premier League table look like if you try to predict all the results this season? On today's show, we'll be looking ahead to the return of the Premier League and trying to predict how things might play out. We'll also discuss the other stories that caught our eye during the international break and check in on any Scottish hangovers. I'm Tom Clark, and joining me today we have the senior sports writer and Sunday Times columnist Alison Rudd, and the former footballer turned journalist Gregor Robertson is here, not wearing his Scotland shirt.
I'm still buzzing though, Tom.
You were specifically asked to wear your Scotland shirt and you're not. You're wearing an admittedly nice grey jumper, but still...
It's cold as well.
It's not cold. Give over. You're forgetting your roots here. You're still buzzing though.
I was taking the little one to nursery in the morning after and it was snowing. Sleep, but I was toasty inside, Tom.
Toasty inside with pure joy.
Absolutely.
Still buzzing. I mean, we did our Scotland special yesterday, which listeners, I hope you've checked out, and please do go do so if you haven't already. But still overwhelmed with joy, I imagine. Still can't believe it?
No, I mean, there's a lot of disbelief. I've still been watching the goals back on loop, really. And like the celebration with the players in the changing room when Kenny McLean's goal is just going over and over, and they just keep celebrating over and over. They're going, oh, hey, hey. And then they show it again, they do it again and again. That's basically been me for the last
You in your living room.
Yeah.
Have you tried to engage your eldest daughter in it, saying, look at this. This is Scott McTominay. This is an overhead kick.
No, not yet.
Not tried any of that. Come on.
Not yet. It'll come. She's got a lot of glorious failure to look forward to still, probably.
No, it can't. Not now. I mean, as Gregor says, Alison, this is completely un-Scotland-like, wasn't it? It was remarkable to watch these amazing goals going in and a turnaround victory from the jaws of defeat. Like, this was not Scotland, but it was fantastic.
But weirdly, that's what they wanted. I mean, I think under Steve Clarke, Scotland have been okay. I mean, they've qualified for the Euros now, and they were on track, sort of, to qualify for the World Cup. It was looking a reasonable possibility. And yet the undercurrent seemed to be, there's no identity, and I'm not sure they're entertaining enough. I mean, what are we watching here? There was a sort of underlying sense of bleakness, and it's as though it's
stacking it down here.
No. But then I can't believe they planned that it would be quite so thrilling.
You think they needed the jeopardy and drama to produce 4 brilliant goals?
It was a bit. I call it tantrum football. It was a bit like if this is what you want, this is what you're going to get. Because you were outplayed, Gregor, for a large chunk of that match.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
Oh, I just realised, Gregor, the reason Alison is because it was Denmark. This is why she's so hurt. I didn't think about this. How stupid. How stupid of me.
Ericsson was on the bench.
Because Alison, you're not in a Scotland shirt. Alison is in a Denmark shirt. Yeah, she sat here. Tears streaming down her face.
Yeah.
But it was very, very special. As I say, listeners, if you're wondering why we're not going into great depth talking about Scotland, it's because we've already done it with Gregor and Michael Grant on a show that was published on Wednesday. So do go back and check it out. Alison, you're talking about that kind of tantrum football. There's no tantrums from England. A clean, easy progression to the World Cup. And it made me think, as a lover of a bit of drama yourself, every now and again, I was going to say tantrums, but decided not to, listeners. A bit of management there. Would you rather, as a fan, though, a little bit more jeopardy, or are we happy that, as an England fan, are you happy going 22 goals scored, no goals conceded, 8 wins, cleanly through to the World Cup, or would you have liked a little bit more drama and jeopardy in there? Thinking of our Scottish and Irish pals. I mean,
there probably are fans of England who like how smooth it's been. I mean, I'd rather I was from Uzbekistan or somewhere, to be perfectly honest. I want to be the underdog.
Yeah. Why are you a Liverpool fan then?
I can't.
Scottish in you.
Why are you a Liverpool fan?
Because I was conceived and born in Liverpool. I have no choice.
Okay. You could swap. You've had a long time of being a Liverpool fan. Come and be a Lincoln City fan. I'm telling you.
Well,
it's great fun.
And the only downside to being a Liverpool fan in my whole childhood was that we won a lot, and I did sort of think, I wonder what it feels like to be the underdog, where those moments of joy are fleeting and few and far between, and therefore, what do they feel like? They must feel astonishingly good, because as a Liverpool fan, you get rather a lot of joy. I mean, I felt the pain. I felt the pain when you did lose something, but
Yeah.
There was always the offset of, next time it'll be fine. So with England, it's like I don't feel any obligation to be an England fan just because I'm English. And if you're appointing an overseas coach, you can take that away. So I wish I was Welsh. I wish I could feel that sense of going against the odds and upsetting the odds and summoning performances that are greater than the sum of your parts. And
why do you not wish you were Scottish?
There's
I'll tell you why.
There's quite a lot of you in journalism, I'd say. It'd be good, actually, Alison, if you were Welsh, just to balance it out. Maybe just for the
actually,
sake
don't
of
answer that question, Alison. You may offend me.
No, I was asked to play for the Wales international team.
So you could qualify.
But I could only qualify if one of my grandparents wasn't English.
Oh, how interesting.
That's what the rules were then.
I think, why not? Just for the sake of the rest of
So
your
I could have been
journalistic
a Wales
career.
international.
Yeah, you could. Well, you can be a Wales supporting journalist from now on if you want. Don't seem that bothered about supporting England, which is absolutely fine. It's fairly straightforward.
The reason I'm not a Scotland fan is Euro 92, I did Euro 92 on my own hitchhiking. So I met fans from every country and had an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, most of it can't talk about on the podcast.
Yeah,
But an absolutely wonderful time, except with Scotland fans
Oh.
who won fans of the tournament, and everyone was going on and on about the Tartan Army. They were bloody boring.
Is this just
Did not engage at all. And when they weren't on show, when they were not on camera, they were really quite dull.
That is like what Gregor's like on this podcast.
A really disappointing this episode.
Just bringing you back.
You stand up for the Tartan Army here. But there's a reason why we win fans of the tournament every tournament.
You could have changed this attitude by having your shirt on. That would have changed it all, I think, if you'd come in with your Scotland kit on. Something to remember for next time.
There you go. Proof. Proof.
Yeah.
Let's move on, Tom.
I love it. Let's move on. Let's talk about Wales there, because Alison, you're saying you wish you could be a Wales fan. I'm sure lots of Wales fans are very happy after their 7-1 win against North Macedonia. Well, they'd already basically secured their place in the playoffs. So they're there in pot 2. By the time you're listening to this, you will have found out who Wales have got in that playoff place. But Gregor, some of the goals in this game. We've talked before on the show about Craig Bellamy and what he's done to this side in terms of the confidence and style of play, but we really saw it in this game. The goals were terrific.
Incredible, yeah. Harry Wilson was on fire. Brennan Johnson playing with a smile on his face as well. That's been a one kind of slight mystery recently. He's not been kind of be able to get a place in the team. And ultimately, look, they've fallen short of Belgium. They lost to Belgium last month, and that was a kind of decisive game for them. But it's been a really positive group for them and start to life under Craig Bellamy. So they're going to play into the playoffs with optimism. I think they should, absolutely. And they've got a lot of talent, a lot of pace, a lot of dynamism in attack, and actually now a lot of experience at international level. That's the thing we spoke about with Scotland in the previous episode. Steve Clarke chose to build a team around a core of players and make sure they got as many caps as possible, and you kind of eventually you've seen that they got over the line as after kind of having some disappointments, and very much hope that can be the case for Wales too. Yeah,
Wales in there as well. Republic of Ireland, of course, we discussed them with Tony Cascarino on Monday's show. Northern Ireland also in there as well.
How good would it be if all the home nations went?
It would be great, but as I say, there is a chance you'll be listening to this show and they'll have drawn each other. That is a possibility.
Well, yeah, that would be.
I would certainly hope it's not, but also you've got other big teams in there: Italy, Ukraine, Turkey. Alison's favourite team, Denmark, might not be at the World Cup. I presume you'll riot if that happens, Alison.
Yeah, it would be a bit disappointing, wouldn't it? But there are 48 nations at the World Cup. Not only should it be, Ireland and Scotland and Wales, it should be Canterbury and Gloucestershire.
She got up on the wrong side of bed this morning.
It's because she knows we're going to talk about
from the Midlands.
It's because we know we're going to talk about the return of the Premier League, and it's not been going that well for Liverpool, but there is time for that. talking of teams that are smaller nations that have qualified, Curacao, the tiny Caribbean island of Curacao, the smallest nation ever to qualify for the World Cup.
Basically,
That kind of backs up Alston's argument.
A cocktail has qualified for the World Cup.
I'm sure we might get some listeners from Curacao who are very offended by that. But just to say, the previous record for smallest nation was held by Iceland, who reached the 2018 finals. But the population of Curacao, just over 150,000, similar to Cambridge or Huddersfield. There you go, Alison, from the article that I'm reading.
They've got the same landmass as the Isle of Man.
The Isle of Man.
Yeah.
An amazing achievement, though. But also for Dick Advocat, by the way, age 78.
Another cocktail.
Very good. I mean, I should say, listeners, it's not often that we get much response from our producer, Neil, who is a fan of very kind of slapstick comedy. And I've just had a double thumbs up through the window at that joke. Alison, you could retire now. You've made producer Neil very happy with that one. But congratulations to Curacao, I should say.
The drama as well after the VAR penalty overturned in like the 94th minute, Jamaica, and my goodness, absolute scenes. Yeah, amazing. And like, there's, it's true. 48 teams. There's going to be. There's 4 debutants now: Curacao, Cape Verde, Uzbekistan, Jordan. Like these aren't nations you kind of are used to seeing at a World Cup, but.
It's playing havoc with my window display because
that's the real reason she's upset. She doesn't own the flags. That's why.
For my birthday present this year, I got a flag from Uzbekistan, a flag of Jordan, flag of Cape Verde.
Your birthday present?
You're making this up.
No, it's true. Swear on my cat's life. Yeah.
You've got your birthday present.
Well, not my only birthday present.
Thank God for that. Goodness me. So listeners who might be just new to the show, Alison Rudd decks her fairly sizable house out every year with the flags of the World Cup or the Euros.
And there are rules.
And there are rules.
You have to have hosts.
There's a hierarchy.
So there's 3 windows taken up by the hosts.
3 of the 12 windows.
Yeah.
So I might have to change that rule. I'm not that keen on having the USA flag on my house.
Politically dicey these days, yeah.
And then another steadfast rule is debutants get a space. But
so the real, but you haven't got a Curacao flag. Yes, it's true. Yeah, put them on the front door.
Curacao. I can guarantee you, a stocking filler will be Curacao.
Oh, that is actually really sweet, isn't it? Wonderful.
Quick
and a Scotland flag.
Quick tangent. Did you see there was a headline in a Scottish tabloid? Donald, where's your boozers?
Donald, where your boozers? Excellent.
Sorry, that just popped into my mind with the USA flag.
Yeah. But as well, just talking about the Curacao, that meant that Jamaica falling into the qualifiers and Steve McLaren, a tearful Steve McLaren, resigning as Jamaica head coach after the game.
But you wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I mean, they've still got a playoff place, but there is something humiliating to going out to somewhere the size of the Isle of Man, isn't there? When you're not expected to.
Yeah,
I can see why he got emotional over that.
Yeah, but just also for his standing in his career, he's already the Wally with the brolly who didn't get England to a Euros. He's now the guy who couldn't get Jamaica to a World Cup when it maybe couldn't have been easier, and then quits and cries and says, "One love Jamaica." I mean, poor guy. This was Alex Ferguson's assistant when they won the treble.
Yeah.
This guy's had a good career.
Yeah.
And he's completely ruined it, the poor lad. Honestly, absolutely terrible. Poor Steve McLaren. But maybe, as you say, he only had one choice. So we should just say as well, I just wanted to mention, guys, and it's a bit of a sprawling show already. This we're talking about Alison's flags and some of her previous travel arrangements, whether Greg has got his wardrobe right or not. We're back in our regular studio today. We've been sharing this studio with our pals at the Ruck, our rugby podcast. And Will Kelleher, the deputy rugby correspondent on the podcast on Monday, had quite an interesting hot take about international rugby being the best of all the international sports. Now, he had his pal Owen Slot, the chief sports writer, with him, who I think if listeners listen and watch the clip that you can see on our social media channels, you could see Owen squirming, thinking, as chief sports writer at the time, thinking, oh my God, he's backed me into a corner here. I'm on a rugby podcast. I'm going to have to agree with him. But actually, it's a World Cup next year in football. We've got the Ashes starting this week. What on earth are you talking about? And then we also had Ireland and Scotland games. Greg, a little baffled by our good colleague Will. Clever lad, nice lad, but not sure.
He let himself down. His family, the paper.
Yeah,
he's really let everyone down quite badly there with that statement. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of all the weeks to pick as well.
Yes.
We've had Irish excitement, Scottish, two of the most exciting games ever in the history of international football. And then we've got the Ashes starting as well. We've got Mike Atherton, the chief cricket correspondent and former England captain, reporting for the Times, and he's banging on about the autumn internationals. I mean, we like Will. We like Will a lot. We think you should go and listen to The Ruck whenever you can. Search The Ruck wherever you get your podcasts for more hot takes. But Will, if you ever want to come on the game and just, we can try and explain to you the excitement of football. There's this little thing called the World Cup coming up next year. We think it might be pretty good.
I kind of admire him, though. That's devotion to your craft. Maybe he's never watched a football match.
Maybe we could watch it with him during the World Cup and see how much he enjoys it. Anyway, do make sure you go and check out The Ruck. They've got lots more considered takes as well as Will's hot takes on their show. Search The Ruck wherever you get your podcast. Guys, it's time to take a break because we want to leave plenty of room to talk about the return of the Premier League when we come back. So let's have a question from Bill Edgar's Premier League quiz. Gregor, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but if you don't get this right, I don't think I can bring the quiz back because it's going to get in your head too much. This one is linked to the North London Derby, which is happening this weekend. Both clubs have used Wembley for their home Champions League matches in the past. Which team beat both of them 4-2 at Wembley Stadium, beating Arsenal in October 1999 and Tottenham in October 2018? Find out after the break. Welcome back to the Game Football Podcast from The Times. I'm Tom Clark and I've got Alison Rudd and a triumphant Gregor Robertson with me. Thank goodness he's back. We're back up and running with the answer to the quiz question, which was
Barcelona.
Thank goodness for that. It did take you a while, but I gave you the
It was
space.
a bit of a punt, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're off and running. And listeners, you can take part in Bill Edgar's Premier League quiz every week on the Times website. Alison, we immediately went to a break and you said the immortal words that you often say to me on this podcast. Tom, you didn't let me tell my story. So go for it, listeners. I should say, me and Gregor do not know what this story is. Just sometimes when we're warming up, we're doing like mic checks. We're like, waffling on about something. Gregor sometimes says what he's had for breakfast or that he's quite tired. Apparently parenthood is quite hard. I say some nonsense about Lincoln City. And Alison sometimes tells us a very whimsical story. This time she said, no, I'll tell it on the show. So Alison Rudd, over to you. This might get us cancelled, God knows.
Oh, well, I mean, that's outrageous. Anyway, no. My dear friend Sarah and I are planning to go to Helsinki in the spring to look at their noted array of Art Nouveau architecture.
Right. Okay.
And so
far, so normal.
We met up on last Saturday and we were thinking. I said to her, go away and think about which dates would work for you in April, because we probably should avoid Easter. Maybe it'd be more expensive to go in Easter.
Yeah.
And she said, well, don't we have to wait for your friend who's giving us the tour to tell us when he can make it?
I know where this is going. I
said, what friend doing this? She went, your friend who's going to do the tour for us. I said, you don't mean Jari Litmanen, do you? She went, yes, that's his name. Jari Litmanen. I said, Jari Litmanen is a god. He doesn't do tours of Art Nouveau in Helsinki. She was quite disappointed. She got the wrong end of the stick.
So, hang on. Are you sure you haven't convinced all your friends that Jari Litmanen is best pals with you? Is it what this is?
I had to be completely honest. I had said to her,
given that impression.
Yeah, I had said to her,
couple of wines. I love Jari me.
I said to her, I will let the world's greatest footballer know I'm coming, and offer to buy him a drink if he's in the vicinity.
Right.
But somehow in her head, this had become him
he's
giving us a tour of his home.
Should explain that you spent how long trying to get an interview with Jari Litmanen?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And then you finally got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a friend. He's a
friend.
He's a friend if you count the odd emoji, a text, and if you call stalking friendship.
Fantastic.
Okay, let's move on again.
Gregor, how did we not see that coming? There's a story. It must involve Jari Litmanen. I can't believe I didn't see that coming. Anyway, the Premier League is back. I feel like we've managed to talk for about 20 minutes and barely talk about football. So let's do it. Now, the Premier League is back. Absolutely huge games this weekend. Liverpool at home to Nottingham Forest is a big one. Fulham at home to Sunderland, I think, is really, really interesting. We've got Newcastle against Manchester City on Saturday evening. And then we've got Arsenal-Tottenham, the big one, the North London Derby. Alison, you're going to us.
I am.
To that game, for us on Sunday. Excited? Apprehensive that it could be 0-0? I'm slightly worried it'll be 0-0. As the person editing on Sunday, you always want the big game to be loads of drama and loads of incidents.
No, well, I mean, let's just say it, and then you can all laugh at me next week. I'm convinced this won't be 0-0. I know. I could make an argument for it being 0-0.
Mm.
Really good.
Yeah.
But Tottenham are better away from home for a start.
Yep.
And they seem to find scoring easier away from home, strangely. So they're an ideal team to play a team that are very good defensively, but without Gabriel, who's injured. You wonder what the knock-on effect of that might be. When a single player gets so much good publicity and is evidently so integral to the way a team performs, it almost is a self-fulfilling prophecy that it will be an impact on their defence, even though in practical terms it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
you can a club the size of Arsenal with their resources. I mean, they've got strength and depth, and that's why most people are tipping them to win the title. They can, in fact, absorb the loss of Gabriel. But in fact, when I've watched Arsenal live, I've always come away thinking, "Wow, he's the defender of the season, isn't he? Wow, he's just his presence at a set piece, let alone if he's involved in it, is, he might not get the assist or the goal, but his being there seems to make other teams wobble quite a lot. He's just so influential. So I do feel that it's set up. That's a long-winded way of saying I don't think it'll be 0-0. I don't think it'll be 0. I think there's there'll be a glimmer of a chance for Spurs, and because they're good away from home, they won't be nervous about taking it.
Gabriel is the first chink in the sort of armour, because we've said it already. If any player they didn't want to lose, really, it's probably him or Saliba, because they have got great depth now, greater than they've ever had before. Even you could put Calafiori in there, but he's injured as well. Well, he's out. And put Lewis Kelly. You could play Mosquera. You could play Piero Hincapié. They're two players who are serious signings.
Yeah.
And they've not really made their mark yet, so it's an opportunity for them. But you still feel at the moment anyone is a step down from Gabriel. So that is the first chink and the first sort of real test for Arsenal, because losing Odegaard, even Saka briefly, they're so stacked in forward areas. It's like they've been able to completely ride that out. No problem.
We're talking about players who might not be playing in this big game. So, Alison, you're saying quite confidently that you don't think this North London derby will be 0-0, and we're talking about some of the players who might be missing, injured. Who do we think will be the key players then? Van der Ven has been excellent for Tottenham so far this season, but they've lacked some creativity.
Well, maybe we were talking in the first part of the show about Brendan Johnson having a smile on his face. I mean, what you want to see as a club manager. You don't really like internationals, and you don't want to see your players go off because they might come back with as we've just been discussing, they come back with a knock. And so you think, well, okay, I've lost the players and I hate getting the gang together after an international break. It's broken up our rhythm. But Thomas Frank will look at Brendan Johnson and think, I like this. I like this version of him. And he'll be feeling fantastic, won't he? He's come back with a good news story. So I think players who've come back from the international break feeling with a little bit of extra sparkle, I think that might be a key for Spurs, because the problem Spurs have had has been that their more notable creative forces, Kulusevski and Maddison and so on, Solanke, have been out. But if the ones you've got have got an extra spring in their step, that might count for something. Do you not think?
Yeah, I mean, it could be unexpected. Leo Trossard has been someone who's stepped up from the shadows and been really impactful in recent weeks.
I wonder whether it might be someone off a bench, because I agree. I hope you're right, Alison, that it won't be a 0-0 game, but I think it might be tight early on and that we might then get breakthroughs in the second half. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it starts fantastically and incredibly excitingly from the opening minutes. But Trossard's a player who has nearly got sold in the summer, of course, but he's come off the bench a lot of times, both in Europe and in the Premier League, and shown what he can do. So, yeah, that could be a good shout. What about Tottenham? Could it be Brennan Johnson off the bench?
Could be. I mean, the one thing is, that, as Alison said, the Spurs have been better away from home, because when they're not really expected to be the main protagonist, they're sort of, it's okay for them to sit in. They've even mixed up home in their approach as well. I remember them going to Manchester City and doing a complete high press and it being very successful, and they got the win that way. But I can't see them doing that against Arsenal. I think they'll try and sit in and frustrate them. And like, it's been the season of the set piece, but these are two of the best teams at set pieces. It could well be that this is a game decided by another set piece.
Yeah, or it could score some goals from open play, lads. Let's change the
Yes,
narrative.
please.
Let's mix it up a little bit. We've had a 2-week break for the internationals. Let's come back and score some screamers from long range. Any other fixtures that are particularly grabbing your eye? As I said, Fulham at home to Sunderland is one that's catching my eye. Fulham having had that win at home against Wolves and panic over, everything's fine, then lose again. Oh no, we need to win at home, but except they've got Sunderland this time. Gregor, this is a quite intriguing one, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunderland's start has been outstanding. But the one for me is Liverpool Forest, actually. I mean, if you're talking about, we spent a long time talking about how like Slot has kind of beamed out to the entire world what Liverpool are struggling to deal with this season, which is teams that play long balls against them, and they're coming up against Sean Dyche's Forest. Like, I think this could be another test for them.
I have to admit, if I was young Sean, I'd be licking my lips about this one because Slot has said. I mean, I'm a bit surprised he said it, but he has said several times now. Oh, teams are trying to play. Use long throws against us, use set pieces against us. The ball's in the air too much. We're not playing proper football anymore. Well, if you're coming up against Liverpool? What do you do? Do what annoys them. If you know you're getting under the skin there, go for it. So he will. He won't care. Sean Dyche, he'll go for it.
What do we think Liverpool will do in terms of their team? So many different changes that Arne Slot has made this season.
Andy Robertson will be drunk.
Yeah,
No, there's some issues there. It's really hard to say that, Tom. I mean, you still feel like he's going to want to try and get, he's gone back to kind of reverting to the core of the team from last season. That he kind of felt he could rely upon, but still there's got to be an urge to try and get, Verts on song and the new signings on song, and to sort of see a way into a future that is not looking towards the past, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge for them for the rest of the season.
And we don't know. We don't
quid.
know. I mean, maybe Paul Joyce, who reports on Liverpool for us a lot, does know, but I don't think we know quite what pressure Slot is under in terms to make those signings look good quickly, and what sort of pressure he's under every time he doesn't start one of them, and how many minutes they get. If you're an executive at Liverpool and you've signed off on over 500 million worth,
450 million around. That's roughly what keeps saying. Yeah,
but whatever. Rammed it up.
Yeah.
Dramatic. Then in stark terms, you're going to look at the team sheet and think that looks very peculiar.
I think
just from a business point of view, that's odd.
You can get away with changing it if you need the results to kind of, because also, I mean, I think they'll qualify for the Champions League. We're going to talk about our predicted tables in a minute. I think they'll easily do that. But you start looking at, are we going to keep them in the income coming in from Champions League qualification and things like that? So I think you can rest some of these players if your justification is, no, let's get some momentum going. Let's get some consistency going and let's get some points on the board.
Look at fair enough, but I think he's just looking around to find the team that's going to win the next game for him, because it's been a desperate run, and that's why he's gone back to the more familiar and tried and trusted, and like the more familiar looking midfield. And the only question is whether Wirtz comes in on the left, I think, but I wouldn't be that surprised, although there are all those pressures, to see him kind of sticking with that until they can ride out this sort of rocky period.
So I'm going to do the thing that you don't like now, but we've talked about two of the big games. I'm going to ask for some predictions for both these games, the North London derby and Liverpool Forest. It's two of the bigger games this weekend. I'll go first because it's easier when I make myself look stupid, but North London derby, I'm going to go 2-2.
Oh, I like that.
2-2 draw. I think that'd be a really exciting game. And Liverpool Forest, I'm going to go for a Liverpool 3-1 win with some goals from some of the new signings. Bit of a statement. Arne Slot's had the international break to think about a few things. It's going to be a good start. Gregor, predictions on those two?
I'm going for an Arsenal win. I think quite comfortable, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. 2-0 maybe.
2-0 Arsenal.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Forest nicked a point. That's I think Sean Dyche will kind of relish going there and knowing that the football, his approach is what ruffles feathers, and I think they could well sneak a point.
Alice?
I'm going for a Spurs win. Narrow.
Spurs win.
Yeah. Got a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narrow Spurs win. And Liverpool Forest?
Narrow, lucky Liverpool win.
Narrow, lucky Liverpool win. Some bold predictions for us there. There's only 3 of us in the studio. We covered off basically every result possible. Speaking of bold predictions, let's end with a look at Alison's column in the Sunday Times last weekend, which was headlined, "Sorry Arsenal fans, Arsenal for the title, ? Not in my predicted final league table. The international break has left the Premier League on a cliffhanger. I've gazed into my crystal ball, looking at all 20 teams and the effect of everything from injuries to AFCON." Do you want me to read the table first, or do you want to give us some justification before I upset lots of fans of teams in the Premier League, Alison? What would you like?
Okay. Well, first rule of journalism, don't just give people what they've already got. So I haven't gone for the existing table necessarily.
I actually think that would have been an actually big hot take if you'd just gone, actually exactly as it is now. Nothing will change. Maybe go up and down, but it'll basically be as it is.
Well, you could do that. And it would be the safe thing to do, would it not?
I don't think that would be the safe thing to do. I think that would be the renegade thing to do. That would have been the really baller thing for you to do.
I don't think anyone would have published it.
250 word column. I think it looks about right, actually. Bang, done. Send. I'm off to Helsinki. See you later. So explain to us a bit more about your rationale behind this league table before I tell listeners where you've got the league table looking.
Well, I felt I probably maybe gave too much significance to it, but I felt the 2-2 draw between Arsenal and Sunderland was quite significant in terms of what it means for the rest of the league when they approach playing Arsenal. I think so far, up until that game, they'd had a little bit of an aura about them.
Yeah.
And what Sunderland did was treat it like it's a knockout and a bit of fun, pulled in the advertising hoardings, made it difficult to unleash the long throw. That just the attitude of doing that is smacks of fearlessness, really. And we're prepared to take what we have and have a go at you, actually. And if we can be a bit silly about it at the same time, fantastic. And the fact that Arsenal weren't able to lift themselves above that and be as imperious as they would have hoped to have been at a stadium which was rocking and so on, I think that would have, I don't think it would have knocked Arteta particularly, but I think it will make other teams feel that actually they're not that imperious. Let's have a go at it. And if we can move the hoardings, let's do that. I think people will do that now if it's physically possible. And also there's now we thought we never would need to talk about injuries at Arsenal, but inevitably it will be a factor if that imperious defence does wobble a bit if someone's missing. So so the point of not having Arsenal finishing top was, if they're going to look more mortal, who doesn't? And generally when they're on a run to a title, it's Man City who don't look mortal. They look like they could do it in their sleep sometimes. And also I figure, isn't it counterintuitive not to have the team with the best striker by a distance in the division have that team winning the title? Because I think we've all wasted quite a lot of time talking about Erling Haaland's touch maps and what he doesn't do, but what he does do is always score a goal. Score
a bucket load of goals. Should we do the table, Gregor? Would you like to hear Alison's predicted final end of season table?
Let's do it.
Man City top, Chelsea second, Arsenal third, Liverpool fourth.
Arsenal third's bold.
Arsenal third is bold, but listen, you can have your say in just a second, my son. Liverpool fourth, Tottenham fifth, Bournemouth sixth, Sunderland seventh, Manchester United eighth, Aston Villa ninth, Brentford 10th, Brighton 11th, Crystal Palace 12th. Crystal Palace are always 12th, aren't they? Always 12th in everyone's predicted league table at any time of the season. Everton in 13th, Newcastle in 14th, Fulham 15th, West Ham 16th, Nottingham Forest 17th, Burnley, Leeds, Wolves complete the bottom three. What's interesting is that as much as you were joking about, I could have just done the same league table, the biggest change, I think, looking at this, is Liverpool up 4 places up to 4th from 8th where they are at the moment. And other changes, Bournemouth up 3 places. No, but I actually agree with you, because I'm going on to someone our predicted tables in a second where we think people might finish. I've got Liverpool even higher. We've got Aston Villa down 3 places, Sunderland down 3 places, but still in 7th. Leeds down 3 places, but not loads of changes. And you've still got Tottenham, Brighton, Everton, Newcastle, and Fulham and Wolves all in exactly the same places they are now. Newcastle's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's low.
That is.
Yeah, but they are competing in
You
Europe
think the
at the
Euro
same
thing.
time.
So what,
and
they're going to win the Champions League?
no,
and
I'm not
finish
saying they're going to
14th?
win the Champions League, but it does seem to affect them,
Hmm.
their results post a European week. And I've seen them, as you've pointed out in the past, I've seen them on successive weeks playing away from home and being really quite abysmal. If they're going to carry on like that, they'll be lucky not to get relegated. So it's quite a generous placing, to be honest.
Based on your evidence in front of you, I respect that. Gregor, your initial reaction, as you said, you jumped in on the Arsenal point, but that the main one for you?
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably number one. Yeah.
You'd have Arsenal first, would you?
Yes.
How does your top 4 differ then to Alison's top 4?
In every way.
I think it would be Arsenal, then City, then Liverpool, then Chelsea, probably just about.
Yeah.
So the same top 4.
The same 4 teams in a different order.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think Newcastle are low. Like I've said it for a long time. Like it happened the last time they got in the Champions League. They struggled. They're having a weird away from home sort of. I don't know. Kind of nightmare. But
yeah.
I don't think that'll go on forever. And I think Palace are maybe a bit low. I think Palace could.
Well, again, they I don't think they've got quite the depth to do their European adventure.
12th to win the Conference League.
Also, as much as I would love
the chant again, they can do it again this season, can't they?
As much as I would love Bournemouth and Sunderland to finish 6th and 7th, I don't think that's going to happen either.
How much lower down do you think they will go?
Like I think Bournemouth will finish in the top 10. I think Sunderland might not.
Not top 10. Come on, don't go breaking Sunderland fans' hearts when the Premier League's just returning. See, I actually think Liverpool will go even higher. My top 3 would be Manchester City first. Sorry, Arsenal fans, I agree with you, Alisson. City is starting to look like a juggernaut that could keep going with Erling Haaland, provided they keep him fit. Arsenal second. I'd have Liverpool third. I think it will click. They've got good, very good players there.
But in my
and I think when you look at Liverpool's fixtures, even Liverpool they could turn this around quite quickly. I think they will win on Saturday, and then they've got West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton at home. Brighton are a good side. All these sides are good sides, but until they play Tottenham away, and Tottenham are rubbish at home apparently, until they play Tottenham away on the 20th of December, they could be right back up there, Liverpool, if they get it right with these good players.
4 points off City in second.
Yeah,
like there's 4 points between second and 9th.
Yeah,
like it's like I said. I don't think there's going to be big gulfs between. There's usually sort of tiers in the league. I don't think that's going to be quite as pronounced this season. So undoubtedly, you're right. Things can change very quickly, and Liverpool still have one of the best squads in the division that will click. Yeah,
just before we finish looking at the relegation places and Alisson's predictions, I think AFCON, I'd mentioned that in the analysis as well. I think that is an interesting point, and you make the point about Brian Bumo at Manchester United. We've said recently it's all clicking, it's all together for Ruben Amorim. You've got an 11 that works. The 11 doesn't work during the Africa Cup of Nations when Brian Bumo's not there.
Sunderland, I think, have got the most players going away. 7. So yeah, it's true. That's a big thing. And
Wolves have got quite a lot missing as well, and the team at least need to have another interruption.
Yeah, Africa Cup of Nations taking place at the end of December through to January, so a lot of players missing for some big games. Gregor, just on Alisson's bottom of the table, what do you think about what she's got there down the bottom of the table? Like, she's got Forest and West Ham just sneaking out. I feel like that's maybe where a lot of neutrals were heading towards at the end of the break last time.
Yeah, I think we got giddy, didn't we? I think probably you're right. I think it'd be a miracle if Wolves pulled away and Burnley and Leeds. Well, I think it will be tight.
Which of those two, if there was one that would keep Forest and West Ham honest in terms of a relegation scrap?
I think either of them.
Yeah,
Burnley are really competitive. Like you look at like anyone going to Turf Moor and Chelsea this weekend, the lunchtime kickoff. Like I don't feel confident Chelsea will go there and win. Like Burnley are really competitive, and it's been a difficult place for anyone to go this season so far. It's not like in the previous season in the Premier League. So I think it will be tight, and they could well survive. But I've said for a while now, I can't look at the table and see who's been dragged in.
Yeah.
Like West Ham have had their uptick with Nuno, and I still don't think they'll pull clear, but they look like they found something now. Forest the same. I don't think it'll be a comfortable season for them, but I think they'll survive. And then you're looking at Fulham would need to kind of capitulate. I think Brentford would need to fall apart. I can't see anyone else. Like Newcastle, as much as Alison's saying she's been generous, they're not going to get relegated. Like it's very, very hard to choose who goes down this year.
You've got to be happy with that as a reaction to your predicted Premier League table, Alison. Other than Gregor being upset about Newcastle and Arsenal, I'd say
Gregor did faux upset there. I feel he more or less agrees with me.
Gregor's not upset about anything really this week, is he? He could basically say anything to him this week. We'll leave it there. Gregor, it's our 4th show in a row this week.
It's been a big week.
Yeah, it's been a big week. No wonder
Many levels.
No wonder you're a little bit tired. But thank you very much for joining me, listeners. I should say, if you want to send me your predicted Premier League tables, we can revisit them on Monday's show, because we will be back then with Alison and Gregor. So thank you very much for listening. We'll see you then.